All right. Listen, greetings to everybody, and thanks for the time. We're addressing healthcare coverage with Get Covered New Jersey, which is a state program under the tutelage of Governor Phil Murphy. And some of the challenges that we have, as everybody should know, that the 31st of January will bring to close open enrollment for Get Covered New Jersey, which is different than the Affordable Care Act, the ACA. Which ended the 31st of December, which is under the federal guidelines. Now, what happens at the 31st of January? Then we roll over into what we call Special Enrollment Period, or SEP. Now, what that means is that we can still sign folks up. What are the prerequisites for that? Marriage, divorce, giving birth, change in address, change in job, change in salary. All those qualify for individual to go back into the Get Covered New Jersey platform and sign up, modify, or make adjustments to their healthcare coverage. That can be done. Why is this so important? Well, what's in place is what's known as the shared responsibility. Shared responsibility means is that when we all pull together and we all have health coverage, it keeps the burden off any one individual and keeps costs down for everybody. Also, when you receive your 1095, along when you file your taxes, if you have not engaged in having adequate health care coverage, then you're obligated to pay a percentage of your salary with respect to not having the shared responsibility. So it's very important. What are some of the obstacles or challenges that we're dealing with currently? From what I've been experiencing, based on certain cultures, we have a lot of individuals who come over from one country or another. They may not have met the mandatory residency 5-year requirement that the United States requires that a person may have. What does that mean as far as healthcare coverage is concerned? Can they obtain healthcare coverage? The answer is yes. On the marketplace, you can obtain healthcare coverage. It is expensive. On the average, a person is looking at between $600 and $900 a month between a bronze and a silver plan. And this is all predicated on a person's health care. And what I mean by health care, each individual knows what their health risks are, what their health is with respect to type of coverage they need. So the plan you pick is going to be based on the coverage you need. Very important. Coverage as a whole is very important. Let me give a side note. Say for some reason you need lab work done, you have to go to, say, Quest Diagnostics. Well, to go to Quest Diagnostics or to go to LabCorp, both of those companies are considered out of network, whether you have coverage or not. So it's very important that a person have that, because now you're looking at a huge expense if you're going to have some lab work done. What are some of the other challenges that individuals may have is that they come in and they may need to upload paperwork to the website. That's classified, we call a data matching issue. Once that paperwork is uploaded to the website, they can push forward and they can process a person's application. When is the application complete? The application is considered complete once you get to the end, you sign, you have a case ID number, and they give you an eligibility status requirement that a person can move forward with respect to that. Some other challenges. Salary is what is the underlying factor to determine where a person is going to fall on the pecking order. So what does that mean? Well, naturally, individual, say from zero income to probably up to about $15,000 a year, is going to fall into the category of Medicaid or New Jersey Family Care. You exceed $15,000, you start getting into the realm of, say, somewhere like $25,000, $30,000 up to about $51,000. Individual will qualify for the marketplace, but they also are entitled to an advanced premium tax credit along with cost savings reduction. So depending on where they are ideally with the salary, they may get a combined tax credit somewhere like $600, $700. They may be paying a monthly premium, say about $325, and that's for the first up silver plan, which is not bad. Then you have individuals on the salary side where 60,000 up to past 150, 160,000 a year. Well, they qualify for fair market value on the healthcare coverage, but no tax credit, no cost savings reduction. What are some folks asking for as a uniform inquiry? Health savings account. What does that mean? If you have a healthcare plan with a health savings account, this individual can have money stored into that plan, and they can use the money for paying for a PCP visit, which is a primary care physician, or if they have to buy prescription drugs, they can use that for the prescription drugs. And prescription drugs, not all drugs are considered equal, and they're based on what your PCP decide. Some PCPs decide on that you need to have a name brand because the medication strength is at its highest versus generic, formulary, and non-formulary. So very important with respect to that. And what I'll do is I'll pass it around and see if anybody like to add maybe some of the challenges they deal with. So Frank, you're to my right. If you like to jump on board and maybe add some angles that you deal with.
Sure. I think the biggest challenge right now, obviously, is the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is the COVID-19 pandemic. I think it shifted people's focus away from most things, including insurance. Plus, we kind of hit them at the time of the year when they were thinking about tight finances, being challenged in other ways. And insurance was just something that they thought, well, I probably need it, but I think maybe I can wait. So that was a challenge that we normally wouldn't have had. So I think that was the biggest reluctance that I ran into. Just the whole, I know I got to take care of it, but not right there. So.
Absolutely appreciate that. And just to extend out what Frank was saying, we have a lot of American citizens, based on the COVID situation, have put them into what we call survival mode. Being in survival mode, healthcare is not at the forefront of anybody's task right now. Survival mode means food in the fridge and the lights on, end of story. And we get it. So what we're counting on, hopefully, that with the Team Biden in office and the relief checks coming and some changes taking place, that this is going to put us in a prime position, especially with the vaccines, where we can get some normalcy back into the economy, some normalcy back into the environment. Folks can come out their shell, so to speak, and they will understand the importance of insurance. It's never too late, and it will offset as we move closer and closer to following for taxes.
Okay, hear me now?
Here we go. There we go.
Thanks a lot. I just want to let you know that we all start out as certified applications counselors during the time of the Obama administration. So now that we are tasked with New Jersey's first time on their own platform. So we are here just to do what we can, just to help the people that need help with healthcare, since we do have some experience. So
on clarity, what Don brought to the table, when we started off under the ACA, the federal platform, there are some nuances that distinguishes itself between Governor Phil Murphy's program under Get Covered New Jersey versus the ACA. Not any major ones, but for example, a person under the ACA that had Medicare could still come to the federal platform and obtain benefits. With the Get Covered New Jersey under Governor Phil Murphy, that is completely different. If you fall in the category of Medicare, you cannot sign up for any benefits under the Get Covered New Jersey. Medicare, it's its own entity, state plan, and I have some Medicare partners that I work with respect to that. We start talking about Part A, Part B, Part D, Medigap, Advantage plans. What we have found is very difficult in the Medicare arena is dental and optical, which are huge. So I work with the professionals in that area to actually get that coverage. And in Jersey, it's actually based on what township you're in, or what type of lifeline they're going to throw you. So that gets to be very complicated. So I stay in tune with respect to what's available on all the different platforms. And its insurance is wide, high, and vast with respect to coverage. Pass it off to Dr. Hall. Dr. Hall, you're right below me. If you'd like to bring to the table some challenges that you have dealt with on your end.
The major challenge that I'm dealing with is deductibles. A lot of people are having problems trying to figure out how they can afford $6,000 in medical expenses a year. So I had an individual who his premiums was 75 cents a month, but his deductibles was $4,000 for the year, and his salary just didn't allow him to do that. So he applied, he enrolled. When it came time to make a decision as to whether he was going to actually pay his first month premiums, he has not decided. He has tried talking to him, but yeah, the biggest and the other issue is data matching. You know, if you've been in the country for a certain amount of years, and you only had your green card or been known as a registered U.S. citizens for 3 years, you don't qualify for getting covered in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some issues that I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm. All right, appreciate this. Just to kind of follow up behind Dr. Hall, we started talking about that data matching issue. The Get Covered New Jersey portal, as well as the ACA, has what we call predetermined, preloaded prerequisites already into the module, and it responds based on the information that's uploaded to the system. The system is engaging. It's what we call an interactive, fluid, or dynamic IA that looks for certain information. If that information isn't met, then what happens, it kicks back a data matching issue, and then you have to upload documents for clarity. We see a lot of this with respect to an individual who may not necessarily have the 5-year mandate residency, or they may have a green card, and the green card may be such that they have a unique name or a name that's shared with 5, 6, 7 other individuals, and that may need clarity. Or they may have multiple addresses, and they have not isolated one as the primary residency, so that brings a unique challenge to the table. That being said, next I'd like to pass it off to Dr. Mimms. Dr. Mimms, if you'd like to bring to the table some of your challenges.
The only thing I'm having a problem with is not even a problem, but after they fill their application, I'm actually trying to decide on a plan. And I think a lot of the consumers think, we can pick one form, which is not something we can do. We can just show them some of the ebbs and flow and the benefits of all the specific plans and let them make an informed decision. So that aside, that's really the only stumbling block that I'm coming across. And thanks to.
And appreciate that, Dr. Mimms. Just to follow up, Dr. Hall made a comment about the income. Keep in mind that when this information is uploaded to the database, it pulls from all the federal platforms. And what I mean by that, Department of Motor Vehicles, SSI, Department of Homeland Security. They pull this information, Internal Revenue. And for some reason, if a person puts income into the portal and it doesn't match up with the previous years, as far as salary is concerned, a flag goes up, a data matching issue comes up, and it can come up if a person puts in a salary that goes too far up or too far down, it's a flag, and now they have to justify why the disparity in the income. And then with that said, then we have individuals who may be pulling off their portfolio, pulling off their dividends. They may have hard assets that's giving them liquidity month in, month out that has to be justified. That's considered earned income. So sometimes that's classified as a data matching issue, and that has to be justified as well. Next, I'd like to go to Dr. Cayo. Dr. Cayo.
Thank you, Dr. Silver. I think, you know what, the only thing I can add is we have less than a few days until we can get everyone covered that we would like to in New Jersey. We have the manpower, we have the woman power, the resources, We also have a service where we can use our translations. So if English is not your first language, that is not a problem. We are really wanting to be flexible with folks in this last week. If you have evening hours, weekend hours, we'll burn the midnight oil and get you all covered and get the work done. So please, if anybody has any questions, reach out to us. I'm sure the information will follow along with this video. We have open office hours as well, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we look forward to supporting everyone.
Some comments here. A point they want to bring to the forefront that there is no charge for us processing anybody's application. We're navigators, and we fall under the auspice of state, federal government. So that's how this is processed. Some of us do hold license outside of this, where we will fall into the category of being a broker, but that's not what this platform is about. This platform is completely free. Our service is completely free. We do not charge. Regard us as your conscience. We sit on your right shoulder and we whisper in your ear what the best choices are for you and your family to make a choice as far as healthcare coverage is concerned. We don't make any predetermined judgment about left or right, but we want you to take in consideration what you need to look at as far as your healthcare is concerned with respect to your finances. You get to add that together and say, okay, where do I need to be with respect to my healthcare? And then you need to move forward. We don't want anybody to be in a position where they feel as though they have to choose between their medication and putting food in the refrigerator. That should never be an option for anybody. We want you to have a well-stocked fridge. We want you to have all the medication that you need. And a lot of times we run into individuals who are diabetic. Diabetic medication gets to be very expensive when you start talking about buying lances and getting insulin or insulin pump. That can be very expensive depending on the degree which that's taking place, or somebody who's on dialysis and they have to go 3-4 times a week for the transfusion. So we try to cover a complete holistic approach to healthcare, why it's important, how to approach it and what it does for you, and the need. So folks need to know that.
I actually have one question, and I'm sorry if you, I think you touched upon it a little bit earlier, but I wonder if later in the year somebody's circumstances change. Can they call on you for assistance, or are you only offering this assistance until January 31st?
No, we do this. We're like that Chucky doll. We're friends to the end. Howdy ho. You call us anytime you need us, and we make the magic happen. I've been servicing individuals since the inception of the ACA. And naturally, as we go through life from one point to the second point, a person takes a different course of action. So if their means change, their address change, marriage, divorce, retirement, Medicare kicks in, all these platforms bring forth changes, and they can call on us at any time to assist with that. So what happens is that after the 31st of January, it becomes special enrollment period. And let me separate the two. State plans are year round. They don't fall into the auspice of open enrollment. So if a person needs Medicare, Medicaid, New Jersey Family Care, or if they're going outside of the parameters and looking at, say, a Kaiser Foundation, which is a 501c3 that offers healthcare benefits, that's open year round. The actual portal of healthcare coverage that's being pushed, whether it be a state platform or federal platform, is being done because the importance of the 14 mandated areas of getting coverage on preventative care needs to be attended to. Now, what that means is that a person can say, well, listen, I'm in great health, I feel good, there's nothing wrong, but if you haven't had the hood lift and the doctor check underneath the hood, you really don't know where your health fares. And what do I mean by that? Have you gone in and had your lipids checked? What is your red blood count? What is your white blood count? Have you had an A1C check done? So you really don't know where you fall into that category. Where's your pressure? Is it too high? Is it too low? So folks need to know exactly where they fare and the blood tells the story behind that. So we encourage folks to go down, get that done, and healthcare coverage takes care of that. To have that information makes you more informed, makes you proactive in your healthcare. So that needs to be done. Have something in the chat box on birth, divorce, marriage, wellness visits. All of those will prompt a special enrollment period. They can give us a call and we can assist. For example, I've been helping folks all day, and folks call me and say, Jay, listen, I'll be retiring in 3 months. Where do I go from here? We have a plan for that. We can sign a person up. We have some individuals that in 3 months, they'll be pulling Medicare. Then what happens is that once Medicare kicks in, or the person has their Part A and their Part D, they will let go of Get Covered New Jersey. And then what happens is that we get them situated on the other spectrum with having the various parts based on need. Some are entitled, you figure we talk about the best, easiest way to remember it is that Part D for drugs, which are your prescriptions. Part A, Part B comes along when you talk about your PCP visit, your specialist hospitalization visits. There is a Part C, but when you start getting into overall coverage, then you start looking into supplemental coverage. Normally, folks who are looking to be all-inclusive, I normally recommend a Part N. Part N is end-all, be-all with supplemental coverage. But you have the Advantage plan. Advantage plans can be tailor-fit. Then you also have Medigap, which bridges the gap, especially for folks who are looking to have their ears checked, eyes checked, teeth checked. Very important. We do a tailor fit with respect to that. So we have these different changes throughout the year. So a person can contact us, just not during the open enrollment period. So for me, when I speak to a person, we engage, it's a lifelong relationship. I make sure they take my number, they put my phone number, email address, and name into their phone. And anytime they have a problem with respect to healthcare, give me a call, let me massage the problem. We come up with some viable options or alternatives to what's in place now, where we can go from there and make the magic happen. So this is going to be ongoing, and they need to know that if for some reason, if there's a lapse, what does that lapse constitute? What happens when I receive my 1095, my 1095A, my 1095B, my 1095C? What does that mean in conjunction with filing my taxes? So all of those questions come up. They're very important. So it needs to be all engaging. Our job is to educate the public on these are your options. You don't have to go it alone. Rolodex, and anytime individuals want to reach out to us and not necessarily sign up, it can be strictly informational. So listen, I have these questions. Educate me on where I need to go from here. Educate me on what plans I need to have in place. I'm from this culture background, and this is how we handle matriarchs and patriarchs. What are our options with respect to that? This is how the community comes together. What can we do with respect to that? Why is that so important? Well, a person can have one operation and wipe out the entire investment. So we do the holistic approach of this is what you need to have in place. This is why, this is how it's viewed. And these are your options. And it's kind of like Old Country Buffet or Golden Corral. Pick and choose what best benefits you and your family and give you a peace of mind. So that's huge. You have Dr. Sandy Cayo at your disposal. You can reach out to her with respect to NJHA as the organization and say, hey, listen, guys, can you do the following for us? And Dr. Cayo will reach out to us, and she'll put team magic into play. We whip out that 55-gallon drum of pixie dust, and we make it happen. We leave nobody behind. We are a team of veterans, and we have the mantras that there's nobody left behind. We live by that code.
Jot the number down. It is if you want to do the one that we have on our website, it's 1-877-4-CARE-NJ. 1-877-4-CARE-NJ. 4 meaning the number 4, CARE-NJ. And when you call that number, I will pick up, unless the Sixers are playing. If the Sixers are playing, I don't answer. That aside, I will always answer. Saturdays, Sundays, it doesn't matter. So, again, 609-455-9285. And thank you very much. Have a great evening.